girlies, and welcome back to the pod. Today we are talking about prepping for the first day of school, first day of classes, whatever you want to call it, and chatting all about getting organized, figuring out what to wear, dealing with back to school anxiety, and what to do the night before your first day of school. And if you're someone who's already started school, these are still good tips for just school in general and getting your life together and feeling excited about the new school year. So keep listening. But before we get into that, make sure you leave a rating and review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts if you're liking the pod so far. And also make sure to follow me at the Girly Girl Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest if you want to see more from me throughout the week. But first, let's chat all about my week. Okay, y'all. This week, not that much happened, but what's going to happen is what's exciting, okay? Tomorrow I'm going to do goat yoga with baby goats, like at 9 a.m. in the middle of the countryside, and I'm so freaking excited. And I'm going with one of my friends and my sister Hadley, and it's gonna be so fun, and I'm so excited. I remember when goat yoga was like a big thing a few years ago, because I would see like people post Instagrams with like goats on their back, and all I want is a baby goat on my back. So I'm literally so excited. We had originally thought it was today, to do the goat yoga, but then my mom told us, she was like, actually, psych, it's the next day. But you know, it's okay. It's fine. Also tomorrow, I'm babysitting for the first time since like middle of spring, I guess, which is exciting. And it's for these kids that I really like, and they're twins, like me, and they're just so cute. They're the cutest little blonde babies, and I'm kind of obsessed with them, and I'm literally so excited to see them. So those are my exciting things coming up. Yay. Also, just this week, I saw a lot of friends, for the last time before they're gonna leave for college, because a lot of my friends are leaving on the 11th or the 17th of August, which by the time this episode goes out, that's gonna be like a long gone. But I saw a lot of friends this week, went out to a few lunches, and I'm gonna see some more friends, I think Monday night, which I'm excited about. But yeah, it's been kind of sad. It's also just really strange, too, just to see where everybody is going. Like, obviously I knew where everyone was going, but it's just kind of weird that we're all going our different ways, which I know is, like, the whole point, but I don't know. It's, like, out-of-body experience. Very strange. Very strange. And then Hadley leaves for college in less than a week, but I'm not going to her move-in because, I don't know why, actually. I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I want to go to her move-in. And my mom was like, you're not going. And I was like, why? And she's like, you're just not going. So pretty much I wasn't allowed to go to move-in, but I'm going to see her on bid day, which is, if you know about sororities, that's a US thing. So if you're listening from out of the US, I feel like, does everyone know what sororities are? I don't know. It's like sisterhood club thing. You do community service, have like social events. It's like a social club. Anyway, bid day is the day when all the girls who want to be in a sorority figure out which sorority they get into. And at Georgia, apparently it's a big thing, and like people go to it. So my mom and I are going to that with another girl's mom, and I'm excited because we'll get to see my other friends that are at Georgia. I actually know a lot of people going there, and I'll get to see Hadley's dorm room, and also go shopping in Athens, which I'm just excited about because apparently there are a lot of cute boutiques. So I think that'll be fun. Also, by the time you're listening to this, I'm gonna be at college, like for real. So that's exciting because the other day when I was recording an episode, I was like, I'm gonna be at college by the time you listen to this, and I just wasn't gonna be there yet. Because I don't move in until really late. Like literally end of August, and most of my friends are going middle of August. And I know kids that are starting school like next week, which is just so crazy. Like high school and actual college, which is just really crazy to me. But anyway, it'll be exciting. It'll be a good time. But today we're chatting all about first day of school, what you can do to be prepared, get ready, and feel better about the day, because it can be a time of excitement for many people. It can be a time of a lot of anxiety for lots of people, or it can be both, like nervous excitement, and that's totally valid and totally okay. So let's get into it. First up, we're going to chat all about organization. So what you can do to get organized before the first day of school. Obviously, okay, I say obviously, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know if things I say are obvious to some people. I don't know. But before the first day of school, you need to make sure you have all your materials together and like have bought your school supplies in advance. Like have your notebooks, have your pens, have your pencils, have a calculator, whatever you might need, have it. And this episode is pretty much focused on like middle school, high school. So let's just say high school. I would suggest getting a binder or a notebook for every class, like a different one. I know some people that just had one big binder for every class, but I could not do that because I would just lose papers. It would get everywhere. But if that's easier for you, you do you. Personally, I think it's easier to do binders, notebooks, or folders for each class. Depending on the class, you'll figure out which you need to use more, because often, like for senior year, a lot of my classes I like didn't need notebook paper because most of the work we would do was online or in a textbook. So I would just use a folder for handouts. Like in my Spanish class, I literally just had a single folder, and then like in my English or history class, I had a notebook because we would have to take notes and write stuff down. Or for any math class, you're probably going to need a spiral notebook. But I didn't really use any binders last year, I'll be honest. I know my freshman year, everything I had was in a binder, and it just made my backpack so full. So just keep in mind what classes you're taking and what you might actually need and what your school is like. And if you don't know these things, that's okay. You can always go to the store later and buy a notebook, but at least make sure on the first day of school you have some sort of paper to write on, some sort of folder. You don't need to have everything for every class, because in some classes your teacher might request that you buy certain things, that you have a certain notebook, or that you get a certain amount of folders, or they heavily suggest you use a binder instead of a folder, whatever. So sometimes you have to wait until you figure out, especially if you're going into your first year of high school, you probably don't know what to bring, but that's okay because you can always get it like during the first week of school once you start getting in the swing of things and start figuring things out. Next up, it's important to pack your backpack at least the night before school, okay? And when I mean pack your backpack, I mean you gotta clean this thing first, okay? Get rid of your old papers, get rid of your old notebooks, take out whatever might be in there, see if you can reuse anything for this coming year. See if you have any notebooks with extra paper in it, you can keep writing in those. That's what I did this year because I was like, I'm not buying new school supplies. So literally my senior year of high school, I was using notebooks that I had just been using like junior year. But then at least you don't have to spend as much money and you're saving paper, so it's fine. But you need to clean out your backpack, get all the trash out, get out like the crumbs, whatever might be in there. Literally open every pocket and take everything out, and then repack it when you have everything you want in it. Make sure your pens are working, make sure you have highlighters that are working, and make sure you have multiple pencils, okay? You don't want to be that kid on the first day of school that doesn't have anything to write with and that has to ask the teacher or that has to ask the kid sitting next to you, because one, that's just going to cause anxiety, and two, don't be that person, okay? Like, yeah, it's fine if you ask like a few times in the middle of the year, but you don't want to be that person that everybody knows you're going to ask them for a pencil or you're going to ask them for a pen because you're not prepared. So be prepared, y'all. Have all your stuff together. And speaking of pens and highlighters and binders, all the school supplies we've been talking about, my favorite thing to get organized for the first day of school is to color code my different classes. Okay, what I mean by this is I'm going to have a binder that's for one class, okay? And I'm going to use pens and highlighters that are a specific color for a class so that in my mind I can know when I'm taking notes. In English, my highlighter is going to be blue. When I'm taking notes in Spanish, my highlighter is going to be purple. When I'm taking notes in a history class, my highlighter is going to be orange. I don't know. When I'm taking notes in math, my highlighter is going to be pink. In any science class, it's going to be green. Okay, whatever color you want to do. I know there was a lot of controversy. I can't remember when. It was sometime on TikTok where people were disagreeing about the colors of different subjects. And the only one people could agree on was that science is green. But I don't know, I feel like English is like very blue and math is really pink. But that might just be me, okay? But anyway, you don't have to do those specific colors, whatever highlighters you have, whatever pens you have. But that just has really helped me over the years color coding things. And then also if I'm looking through a bunch of papers, color coding my classes helped me a lot just because if I was flipping through papers, I could know, okay, these are my notes from calculus, these are my notes from Spanish, and then that was just really helpful for me to keep everything organized in my mind. So 10 out of 10 recommend just bringing with you different colors of pens, different colors of highlighters, or even at the bare minimum, just have like a blue, black, red pen, okay, and have a yellow highlighter, okay. At least have one color highlighter, because if you're someone who doesn't highlight your notes, literally get out of here, okay? That should be illegal. Because how else are you going to study them? How else are you going to know what's important? What's a keyword? So really recommend highlighters, y'all. If you're not going to do the color coding, at least get the bare minimum where you can highlight stuff, okay? Please. Next up is probably something you might not have thought about, which I think is really helpful and definitely helped me throughout high school, and that is to print out your class schedule so you can have like a physical copy of it in your backpack. But then also if you have like it's online, it's on a website, screenshot your schedule on whatever school website it's on, and put that into the camera roll of your phones and favorite the photo so it's easier to find. And then also I would have a screenshot of my schedule on my desktop. I would use one of the sticky notes from the Stickies extension and just drag and drop the photo into one of those notes and just like full size it. Just so I could also have it on my laptop, because most of my classes I was doing online work, and having my laptop open, typing, whatever. So if I didn't know what class I had next, I could see it on my laptop, or then if I was in a class where we couldn't have our laptops out, I would be able to look at my phone, or if I couldn't look at my phone in the hallway, I could take out a piece of paper with your schedule on it. And this would be especially helpful the first few days of school. But even then, I literally had my schedule on my laptop the entire year just because I could not remember it and I would get so confused. And there were multiple times I would just go to the wrong class because I wouldn't know what time of day it was. I would think it was like before lunch and it just wasn't. And I was just not paying attention. So it helps to have access to your schedule when you're going in between classes. So make sure you get that. And if you don't have your schedule yet, I would think everyone would have their schedule. But if you don't, wait until you do get your schedule. I feel like you would have to have it before your first day of school though. Or at least that's what my school did. But literally put it on your laptop, put it on your phone, print it out, okay? Bring it with you because you don't want to be the kid that's going to the wrong class. Because then that's just like annoying and an inconvenience. And then you're like panicking and you're like, where's my other class? I don't know. And that's just makes too much anxiety, okay? And we don't want to deal with that. So print out your schedule, okay? Next up, let's chat all about outfits. What to wear to your first day of school, okay? Because obviously this is the biggest decision yet, right? First things first, I suggest that you pick out your outfit the night before. And the reason is because the morning you wake up for school, you might be anxious, you might not really be thinking clear, coherent thoughts. Maybe that's just me, but whenever I get nervous, my mind kind of I don't know what it's called. What is that game with the ball where the ball just hits back and forth pinball? I don't know. Things just go everywhere. So I can never really think when I'm anxious. So it helps me to plan things out in advance. So pick out my outfit the night before, know exactly what I'm going to wear, have everything set out, and make sure things are good to go. Because also, too, if you're getting ready in the morning, there's going to be times when you pick out an outfit and then you're like, this is literally horrible. What was I thinking? So if that does happen, then you can have time in the morning to fix it. So pick out your outfit the night before. That is always a good rule. Or if you want to be bougie, pick out all your outfits for the upcoming week, okay? So you're all prepared and you have everything out. But that can be a lot for people, so maybe no to that. But if you feel like it, go ahead. And it's important to wear clothes that are comfortable, so not things that are scratchy, itchy, things that you have to keep pulling up on, pulling a skirt down. Maybe a skirt's too short, maybe a top is too big and you keep having to pull the straps. Those are just going to be annoying for you. So wear clothes that are comfortable, clothes that fit, but clothes that also make you feel confident, clothes you feel good in, clothes you feel comfortable in. I feel like that's really important. Because if you're wearing clothes that are uncomfortable, but you're like, oh my god, it's so cute. It's literally so cute. Yes, it can be cute, but if you're uncomfortable the whole day, that's just gonna carry on and make you distracted and focus less on what's actually going on during the day and add to more things that you are already probably worrying about. So wear something cute, wear something comfortable, and wear something that makes you feel confident. And this doesn't have to be some outlandish, extreme stylish outfit. Literally wear a casual dress. Okay, that's the easiest thing. Wear a casual dress, wear a skirt and a shirt, wear pants and a t-shirt, whatever. But honestly, it's important to remember schools have dress code. So you need to make sure your outfit is following dress code. While that is literally the most annoying thing ever, especially in the first week of school, I feel like people are more they're lenient, but also at the same time I feel like they're more strict, or people are just gonna notice things more. They might say, okay, it's your first week of school, so you can get away with things, but people are still gonna point it out, which just is distracting, and then you're not going to be focusing on what's going on at school. So make sure your outfit follows dress code. And if you're someone who wears a uniform for school, you're already good to go, okay? Literally just put on your uniform. And yes, that can be boring, but also at the same time, that's really nice because you don't have to deal with this, oh my god, what do I wear to the first day of school thing? So there's one less thing you have to worry about if you're someone with uniforms and you're like, oh my god, I'm so upset, I have to wear a uniform, I hate a uniform. Sometimes uniforms aren't that bad, and you don't have to worry about what to wear every day. So that can be nice. But if you're someone who just has a dress code, you can pretty much wear whatever. You go to public school, private school that doesn't have uniforms, whatever. Make sure that your outfit follows dress code. Also, when getting ready and picking out your outfits, keep in mind the weather outside. And in most places, it's going to be really hot. It's going to be humid. It's middle of August, your first week of September, whatever. It's going to be warm outside. But you also need to consider the temperature inside the buildings, which is most likely going to be freezing, okay? School buildings are usually freezing. It's either that they're insanely hot and feel disgusting and you're like gonna throw up, or it's like freezing. So make sure that whatever you wear can be good for this outside really warm temperature and inside cold temperature. And to do this, I suggest bringing a jacket with you, okay? Bring a sweater, something you can take on and off, so when you're inside you can put it on, and when you're outside you can take it off. Also, if you have lockers, okay, leave a jacket in your locker, so that way you can go to your locker if you're ever cold and just grab a jacket. But also, it's just easy every day. Just think, okay, how is the weather going to be outside versus inside? Is it going to be insanely hot? Or also think about your daily schedule. Are you going to be walking outside at all? Or are you going to be inside? Because at my school, we had to walk in between buildings. So we were outside quite a bit, and you had to walk outside to get to the cafeteria. But if you're someone who goes to school and your entire school day, you're inside one building, okay, then dress for the AC. Dress for what it's going to feel like inside, and keep that in mind. Because if you're not going to be going outside all day, there's no reason, besides like being cute, that you would really want to wear something like extremely summery, right? Because you'd just be cold. And as someone who gets cold all the time, that can be uncomfortable and distracting. And bring a sweater, bring a jacket with you if you're someone who gets cold often. If you're not someone who, like me, that's great. But I feel like a lot of people do get chilly at school. Another important thing about picking out your outfits is make sure you wear comfy shoes to school, because you're going to be walking around, you're going to be walking in between classes, and you don't want your feet to hurt. You don't want to be wearing like heels or something that could hurt your toes, something that's going to give you blisters, because then you're just going to be uncomfortable. The main thing about outfits, if you couldn't tell that I'm trying to push, is you want to dress the most comfortably, but also cute, but also make yourself confident. But it has to be like fashion, but like functional. And the point of this is just so you have less things to worry about. You don't have to worry about the blisters on your feet. You don't have to worry about making sure your skirt is fingertip length because you have to keep pulling it down. Things like that. Even though dress code rules are like stupid, it's just makes your life harder if you're just breaking them, especially on the first day of school. You don't want to have to deal with that. That's like, I'll deal with this in a month problem, when you're like, I don't care, I've been here long enough, I'm gonna break the dress code. Anyway, wear comfy shoes. Comfy shoes. Some of my favorite back to school shoes, I like to wear like casual sneakers, not like athletic shoes, but just like, I don't know, types of shoes like Air Force Ones, Converse. I got these really cute shoes from Adidas that are like tan but kind of look like they have graffiti on them, but it's like embroidered on it. It's really cool. I also like wearing different types of sandals if you can, so like Birkenstocks, and I really like platform sandals. Okay, those are my favorite all time because they just don't hurt your feet, but they make me taller, so then people don't tell me every day, wow, Carmen, you're so short. Because yeah, we all know I'm short and we don't need to point it out every freaking day. Okay, guys? Okay. But wear comfy shoes. Wear shoes that you feel comfortable in. And you don't need to go all out with your shoes. Just things that like you won't twist an ankle in. Things that won't be a risk when going down a staircase would also be good. Because as someone who has fallen down the stairs at school like twice, you don't want it to be because of your shoes. And especially on the first day of school, that can be kind of embarrassing, and then you're going to be thinking about it all day, and it's going to like ruin your day. So be careful. But I had fallen down the stairs at my school so many times that I would get so paranoid walking up the stairs, and I was like holding the handrail, like it would just make me so nervous. The amount of times I've like face planted in school is honestly really funny. But that's just because, I don't know, I'm like clumsy. It's not even because of what shoes I'm wearing, but I'm here to let you know, as a survivor of falling down the stairs multiple times at school, in public, in front of large groups of people, you will be fine. So if you do fall, it'll be okay. I promise you, no one's gonna like bring it up. they might for like the first few weeks. They're like, oh my god, haha, remember when you fell down the stairs? And you should be like, yeah, haha, that was so funny. But like after that, people don't really care. And people aren't going to keep bringing it up to you. And if they do, you can be like, bro, like, don't you have anything more interesting to talk about than me face planting? Like, yes, that was so funny. But also at the same time, I feel like we have more interesting things to talk about, okay? And then ends the subject, and you're done. Okay, those were all my things for outfits. Now let's chat all about back to school anxiety. Okay, my past few episodes, we have touched on this. In this episode, we're touching on it on, oh my god, wow. Touching on it again. Ooh, wow. That was a struggle to say. But I talked about dealing with back to school anxiety in my mental health Q&A video with She Persisted, where Sadie chatted all about dealing with school-related anxiety, anxious thoughts. Also talked about it in the, oh my god. Why can I never remember what episodes I actually do? Talked about it in the back to school Q&A episode. So you got lots of options to hear about back to school anxiety. We're chatting about it quite a bit. And that's mainly because I'm someone who like does get really anxious for the first day of school, no matter what. Like, whether I was a freshman going into my first day of school at a new school, or if I was an incoming senior and going into the same school that I had been for 4 years, I would still be anxious, okay? And that was just because it was like first day of school nerves, not knowing where classes are, not having been at school for like 3 months, just starting something new would make me nervous. So I'm here to chat all about back to school anxiety and how you can kind of deal with that. And we're going to be bringing in some tips that have been talked about before, but I'm just going to say them again to really drill them in. Okay. This is a tip that Sadie shared in the mental health Q&A episode, but you should think about the best and worst possible things that could happen. Okay. So before the first day of school, think about the absolute worst thing that could happen. You spill coffee on your white shirt. You forget to bring your laptop, your laptop is dead. You didn't bring any pens. You didn't bring any pencils. You trip on the stairs. You go to the wrong class. Okay. These are all the absolute worst things that could happen. And just imagine the worst possible day. And then, on the other hand, imagine the best possible day. You have a rockin' outfit, you bring all your materials, you go to every class, everything is seamless, everything is great, okay? But it's important to acknowledge the worst possible thing, because you can probably realize, okay, there's actually a lot in my worst possible day that I could probably resolve and prevent from even happening. Like, 1, I could change my shirt before I go to school. 2, I can make sure my laptop is charged, ready to go. It's in my backpack. I'll double check to make sure I have pens, pencils, all my binders, all my supplies. I'm going to check before I leave for school. I'm going to make sure I have my backpack. 2, walk up the steps. I'm going to hold the railing, okay? Yeah, you are. You're going to hold the railing. Be extra conscious. 2, I'm going to have my schedule printed out on my phone. I'm going to make sure I know where to go. I'm going to ask people for help if I need directions on where to go. So the thing is, for thinking about a worst possible day, now that we've gone through it, you can realize, wow, there are actually a lot of things I can do to prevent this worst possible day from even happening. And then at that point, you're like, okay, wow, by being prepared, by being proactive and realizing what might worry me the next day, I can reduce this level of back to school anxiety and turn it more into excitement. Like, I'm excited to meet new friends. I'm excited to see my old friends from middle school or from the previous year of high school, whatever it might be. Next thing you could do for back to school anxiety, and this is specifically like the day before school starts, the night before, and that is to distract yourself, okay? Find other things to do. Find other things to focus on. Maybe you're someone who you get more anxious when talking about like back to school, talking about what's making you anxious. So it helps you the most to like distract yourself, do other things. So do things that are active, go outside, go for a walk, hang out with friends, go out to lunch, hang out with your family, find things to do that can distract yourself, watch a movie, whatever it might be. And if that helps you deal with your anxiety, great, okay? But maybe you are someone who's the total opposite, okay? And that's me. Because if I distract myself from feeling anxious, I'm going to get more anxious. And I'm going to keep thinking about it. And then my thoughts are going to spiral. And I'm going to be, like, freaking out. So the thing that helps me to make my anxious thoughts lessen or go away is to face the source of my anxiety, okay? And that means talking about it with another person, actually thinking about it, saying out loud how I'm feeling about the first day of school, talking with a friend, being like, hey, I'm feeling kind of nervous about the first day of school. How are you feeling? And it's important to remember, like, other people are feeling anxious too. So share how you're feeling, and I'm sure your friend will be like, oh my god, me too, I'm feeling so anxious, I didn't know anyone else felt that way. And that's just a great way to kind of reduce anxiety, just by realizing, oh my god, everybody's worried, everybody's anxious, and we're all going through the same thing. And then there's kind of like a sense of solidarity where you're like, we're all nervous wrecks the night before school, so I'm okay, and everything is gonna be okay. But remember, there's different ways to deal with anxiety, and it kind of just depends on how you know yourself. Like, I was talking about this with my friend the other day. She's moving into college soon, and she was stressing out about something, and she came to the conclusion, she was like, I honestly don't even know what's going on the first week of school. But it helps me just to not think about it, distract myself, and figure it out as I go. And I was like, wow, that's great that helps you. But I'm literally the complete opposite. Like, I need to know everything. I want to know the exact dates, what I'm doing, what time I'm moving in, exactly what my dorm room needs to look like, the exact size, dimensions, everything I'm going to get. I like to be prepared. And it's just really interesting to see that people deal with anxiety and anxious thoughts or just feeling nervous in different ways, and that works differently for different people. Like, for her, it helped to distract herself, not think about it, focus on other things. For me, it helped to be like overly prepared, look stuff up, know as much as possible. So figure out which type of person you are, and go from there. Next up, we're going to chat all about what to do the night before your big day, aka first day of school, y'all. Okay, so like I said at the beginning of this episode, you're probably feeling nervous, maybe a bit excited, or maybe you're both, nervous, excited. That's probably it. I know every first day of school I had, I was nervous. I honestly felt sick. Like, when I get like anxious, I feel like I'm going to throw up. So I was like nervous, but also at the same time, I would remind myself, okay, Carmen, like, you've done first day of school so many times. You have good friends. You're seeing the people you like, the people you love. Everything will be okay. And I feel like most people don't really remember the first day of school. I'm going to be honest, I don't. The only reason I vaguely remember my first day of senior year is because I made a TikTok about it, that kind of went viral on Instagram. Like, that's the only way I even know what I did my first day of senior year. So then if you think about it, like, first day of school, yes, it feels like the most important thing ever. It feels like such a big thing. But once you're in the middle of the year, like, you don't even think about it, okay? So remember that, and know that it's okay to be nervous. It's okay if you're not nervous at all and you're just freaking excited about everything. You can be pumped, but even then, like, if you're someone who gets nervous the night before and you're like, oh my god, I can't fall asleep, I'm so nervous, it can be hard too to fall asleep if you're just excited. You're like, oh my god, I'm so excited, I can't fall asleep, I feel so like jazzed up, I keep thinking about everything that's gonna happen, I'm so excited. So it's like two sides of one coin, where both sides, it kind of like riles you up and gives you like a lot of energy, a lot of things to think about, your thoughts are spiraling. So it's important to have a relaxing night, whatever that means to you. Calm down, do some relaxing things, whether that's taking a long shower, washing your hair, doing full body shower, not one of those like quick showers. I don't know. I'm a person who, like, I wash my hair, okay, twice a week. right? So doing like a full shower where I'm actually washing my hair, shaving my legs, doing everything is like a big deal for me. It happens like maybe twice a week. And even then, this might be TMI for some people, but like I don't care. I literally hadn't shaved my legs for over 3 weeks. Okay. And I shaved them the first time the other day, and it took me forever. And I'm someone, I just hate shaving my legs. I really don't care what it looks like, but it got to the point that I was like, I'm kind of done with this. And like, so a full body shower for me means like actually shaving my legs, even though I'm like, I don't really care. That's so much effort. But shaving my legs, actually washing my hair, doing like the full body shower, that's like a treat for me, because usually I'm just, when I'm in the shower, I'm not washing my hair, I'm just washing my body, doing something easy. Another thing you can do to relax is do a face mask, do a hair mask. Personally, I've really been liking hair masks just because over the summer my hair has gotten like really dry, and I don't know if that's from it being so long or if it's from being in the sun all the time and my hair getting sun damage, or if it's from being chlorine and salt water. I don't really know. I'm getting a haircut soon, and I'm really tempted to like get it short again. But every time I get my hair short, I don't like it. Okay. And I don't know. I want to be someone who can rock short hair. Like, I want a bob. But it just never looks good on me, and it makes me so upset because I just want to be one of those girls with like cute short hair, but I don't know. And my hair has taken so long to get this long, and I'm like, do I really just cut it off? But I'm not sure. I'm gonna ask the lady who cuts my hair. I'm getting my hair done like next week, so we'll see. Who knows? I literally might just get barely anything off, or I'm doing it short. Okay, it's gonna be like at my shoulders, above my shoulders short, which might look horrible because I have like frizzy wavy hair and it'll give me like a poof, which isn't what I want. But also I want short hair, especially when it's going to be so hot at school. I don't want to have to deal with like long hair and being sweaty. But also I'm thinking about getting like face framing pieces. So that'll be short in the front anyway. I don't know. It's a lot to think about. It's a big decision if you couldn't tell. But anyway, what's I talking about? Treat yourself, okay? The night before school, it's important to treat yourself, do nice things, whatever you love doing, something that maybe you don't do often and that is just like kind of a special thing. Do that. Another thing you could do, read a book, okay? If you're a reader, that's probably something you already do, but for me, the most relaxing thing is just laying in my bed, reading on my Kindle, and that's like one of my favorite things ever. Also, I've said this before, but in case you didn't know, if you're someone who has a Kindle, you can get books for free, whether that's like Kindle Unlimited, which I don't really use, or if you're using a library app, you can also get books for free that way. I use the Libby app, and you can connect it to your local library and see what online books they have in their database. So I always like to check before I buy a book on my Kindle. I'll check to see if it's on the library, and a lot of the times it's not. Then again, like half the time, maybe more than half the time, the books I want to read are on the library app, okay? And I'll get them, and then you're saving money, because when I first got my Kindle, I got in so much trouble because I was spending so much money just buying books. And now at this point, I'm like, literally for my birthday, all I want is a Kindle gift card. My parents are like, we can't get you just a Kindle gift card. I'm like, that's literally all I want. I don't want actual things. I want a Kindle gift card. But anyway, another thing you could do if you're not a big reader, maybe you hate books. I don't know. That's like my brother and sister. They just hate reading. They hate books. They want nothing to do with it. Watch a movie, okay? Watch a comfort movie, a comfort show, or try something new. If you're looking for movie recommendations, okay, and you want to cry, I have two. First of all, Purple Hearts. That's a romance. Second, The Age of Adeline. That's like kind of a romance, but it's more just like, I don't even know. Like the romance felt like the second, like a backstory plot. But both are so good and just like, oh my god, gut wrenching. Anyway, or watch a funny movie if you're feeling that, watch a good funny movie, check out Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever. Next up, something you can do if sitting by yourself causes you more anxiety. Maybe you just can't sit still, you can't read a book, you can't push yourself to watch a movie, you keep getting distracted, your thoughts keep wavering. Sit with your family, okay? Be with them, go downstairs, chat with them, tell them you're feeling nervous, have them talk about, I don't know, literally anything else too if you don't feel like talking about school and you don't want to deal with that. But sit with your family, distract yourself with other people, hang out with your siblings, and if you're feeling anxious, like I said before, it can sometimes help to try not to think about the next day. Something I like to do is kind of like, what is it called? Ground myself. So think about what I'm doing at this exact moment. So, for example, let's say hypothetically, my next day of school is tomorrow and I'm feeling anxious. I don't know what to do. I'm feeling sick. My stomach hurts. And I'm just kind of panicking. Okay. I'm going to sit and think, okay, Carmen, right now, you are sitting in your room recording a podcast episode. It is 10 in the morning. You don't have school until tomorrow. You are not there. And just remind myself, I am here. I am in my house. I am safe. And having those sort of grounding thoughts help me so I don't kind of spiral and get out of control. So that helps. Also, remember that while it can be hard to get a good night's sleep before the first day of school because you're feeling nervous or excited or both, it's important to at least try, okay? At least try to get a normal amount of sleep. Like, do the things you would normally do. Go to bed at a reasonable time, or at least try to go to bed. Often, sometimes, it can be really hard to fall asleep on the first day of school, and maybe you'll wake up really early before your alarm, but at least make an active effort to actually get a good night's sleep, because while it can be hard, you might as well try, y'all. Might as well try. And for this, what helps me if I can't fall asleep, I don't know why, but I've been sleeping really badly this past, week or two. And I think it's because I've been thinking so much about what I need to do, stuff I need to buy for my dorm. Literally, dumb things. But just, my mind keeps thinking while I'm trying to fall asleep, and it just makes me anxious. Okay, side story. The other day, I was so anxious when I went to bed. I literally anxious and paranoid. I had a dream that I was in a hotel room, and some middle-aged man broke in and tried to, murder me. Okay, and I feel like that's not normal, but I told my parents about that, and they're like, you're fine, but I don't know. I've never had a dream where someone tried to kill me. That was a lot. Anyway, okay, but try to have a good night's sleep. If I can't fall asleep, I like to wear my sleep face mask, and I like to turn on, I have this, air purifier thing in my room. It's an air purifier, but the main purpose I use it for is to create, white noise. So that helps me. Just having something to focus on other than my thoughts, I think is helpful. Or if you're someone who is interested in this, you could try a, before bed meditation. You could try before bed yoga. That could be relaxing as well. There are so many different things you can try out and do. But just know your first day of school will be great. And even if it's not, I promise you won't remember it, okay? It'll be fine. Everything will be okay. You'll make friends. Don't worry about it. Things will all be okay. Make sure you leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest at the Girly Girl Podcast if you want to see more from me throughout the week. And thank you all so much for listening. I hope you have an amazing first day of school, first week of school, whatever, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye!